You're listening to Glove Up or Shut Up on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It's Holly Holm against GDR for the inaugural Featherweight Championship.
Is that what you're saying now instead of Germaine de Randamie? Is that too
Why
hard
not?
for you?
No, it's just like GDR.
That sounds too much like JDS.
Or GSP.
I think Germaine de Randamie is easy enough to say.
Alright, boss, who you got?
Holly Holm.
Really?
I don't even think it's a contest, to be perfectly honest with you.
But if Holm gets taken down...
Yeah, well, if she hasn't learned how to stop a takedown after her last couple of fights, then yeah, she's screwed. But I think the question is, Germaine de Randamie has to get inside on her and avoid getting hit, and I don't think Holly Holm's going to give her that chance.
No, I think if it stays on the feet, Holm wins the fight.
I mean,
if Holm gets taken down, it's GDR's fight to lose.
Just look at it in terms of the rankings as if this were a bantamweight fight, because Holm is number 2 and de Randamie is number 10. So that should tell you just about everything you want to know. But if you really want to go extra spicy on it and put a little more heat on this, we can also give the betting odds. What do you say?
Sure.
De Randamie is actually the favorite right now, minus 125. Holly Holm is plus 105.
I don't want to say Holm's overrated, but I think if she's the favorite here, that's a mistake. I think GDR being the favorite is where the odds should be for this fight.
I still think Holm's going to win.
All right, what about Derek Brunson and Anderson the Spider Silva?
Well, Brunson is minus 140 and Silva's plus 120.
What?
I think that actually makes sense at this point in their respective careers.
No, well, I could... Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can't remember the last time that Anderson Silva was the underdog, ever. But, I mean, you said to yourself, like, this point in his career, I'm not saying Silva's a gatekeeper, but, you know, I think he can beat Brunson.
Yeah, well, I'm not as confident in that as you are.
What about Ronaldo Souza and Tim Boetsch?
We got minus 525 for Jacare.
No surprise there.
Yeah, plus 415 if you got enough confidence to bet on Boetsch. But, you know, this is another one of those cases where you would say, you know, if you got $10 in your pocket, you got $100 laying around, you don't know what to do. Boetsch is the kind of guy who will get the unexpected win in a lot of cases.
Yeah, but it's another one of those striker versus grappler comparisons, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm not disagreeing with you.
And with the striker, I mean, if I would put $10 as a trifecta with GDR, Silva, and Souza, that's crazy talk. I think that I would actually win some decent coin on that. What about Jared Cannonier against Glover Teixeira?
Well,
there's
the guy we were just talking about dropping out of the top 15.
Yeah.
Glover Teixeira is minus 190. That actually seems kind of low. I would have had him as an even bigger favorite.
Yeah, but Glover's always been Jekyll and Hyde fighter. We know this.
Yeah, but I would say if you want to call him Jekyll and Hyde, that's fine, but look at the list of guys that he has beaten. Quentin Jackson, James Tahuna, Oven St. Preux, Rashad Evans. It's not like he's beating scrubs.
No, but who is beating him?
John Jones, Phil Davis, and Rumble.
But Jared's not 9-1 for nothing. I mean, those are some decent wins he has too.
I don't know if Kudaleba and Tony Lopez are comparable to.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's 9-1. It's not like he is. This is his first real tough test.
And I don't think he's up to the test. I think this is too soon for him.
Too soon, too much?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now, the aforementioned Jim Miller against Dustin Poirier.
According to the book, minus 470 for the Diamond, plus 375 for Miller. And
wow.
Hate to say I agree, but I agree.
Yeah, I have to say that as well. I mean, if Miller were, I'd love to see Miller win here, but man, Poirier's just too dangerous.
And
that's sad to say because I like Miller. I really do.
And his only loss in his last 5 fights was getting knocked out by Michael Johnson. And And really, there ain't no shame in that.
No. Now, as far as the prelims are concerned, Jared Brooks versus Ian McCall. Yes, folks, Ian McCall is scheduled to fight this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Circle it on your calendar.
Yeah, they finally found an opponent for Uncle Creepy who didn't pull out or get sick.
Yeah. Nick Lentz fights Islam Makhachev.
That should be a quality fight at lightweight.
Wilson Reese and Oka Sasaki.
Oh, come on, try a little harder. That's Wilson Hayes.
Huh?
That's Hayes. He's Brazilian.
Oh, Hayes. I was like, did I mispronounce Sasaki?
No. It's that whole silent H, that's
Honda
Housey.
Honda Housey. And Randy Brown against Bilal Muhammad.
And that's not Handy Brown.
Funny. On the Fight Pass, we've got Tybura and Willis and Canero and LaFleur. Ryan LaFleur, 12-1 against Canero, who's 21-10.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. You're forgetting Philippe Nova and Rick Glenn, though.
Yeah, I was saving that for last because I'm curious what the book says about that fight. If it's even on the book.
I will give you odds on all the ones we just talked about. Bilal Muhammad is plus 110, Randy Brown minus 130, Sasaki plus 475, Hayes minus 650.
Damn.
Nick Lentz plus 250, Makhachev minus 300. Brooks and McCall is a coin flip. They're both minus 105 or minus 115. Canero plus 240, LaFleur minus 280, Nova plus 170, Glenn minus 200.
Minus 200 for Glenn.
I like that. I feel like that's decent. I think Philippe Nova is middle of the road for his division. He's, the losses to Henan Barao and Zver Tukukov, they were tough losses. One was a split decision, one was a unanimous decision, but Nova is just another one of those gatekeeper kind of fighters.
Yeah. No, I understand that. And I believe this is his second go in the UFC, and a loss here, I don't know. I think he's fighting for his job on this one.
Yeah, he takes 3 losses in a row in his second go around in UFC. He's probably going back to Bellator again. If Bellator wants him.
Or you can go to World Series.
Yeah, if they're still around.
If they're still around, yeah. The rematch. Stipe Miocic defending his heavyweight title against JDS.
Yes, Junior Dos Santos will be challenging him at UFC 211, which will be taking place in the American Airlines Center of Dallas, Texas.
So JDS misses his fight in Halifax and gets rewarded by a title shot.
Yeah, that's not such a bad thing, is it?
Well, I mean, you probably have a bigger crowd in Dallas than Halifax. No offense to Halifax, but Dallas is probably a bigger venue.
The last time the two of them fought, it went to a decision, and Stipe got the better of it, but we'll see if that happens the second time around.
So you're saying hopefully this time it doesn't go to the judges?
Well, I mean, is it really such a bad thing when a fight goes full 5 rounds? I mean, you could say you never want it to go to the judges. I know that's your old saying on this show, but in a heavyweight title fight, if you go 5 rounds, you're doing something right. That's impressive.
Hey, 2 heavyweights that have the cardio to go full 5 is pretty impressive. Oh, it should be very entertaining, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And, maybe we'll get an upset. Who knows? I'm not sure if JDS wins, it would be considered an upset, though. Now, as far as this week's show, we're going to talk about the UFC 208 show with Holm and
Germaine de Randamie.
Germaine de Randamie for the new 145 title, and we're gonna review what happened in UFC Fight Night 104 between the Korean Zombie and Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
That's right. So, yeah, what do you want to say about the fact that Korean Zombie is back with a vengeance?
Coming back from the military service, it's not like the Korean Zombie was sitting on his couch or just taking her easy. He was, keeping busy, and it's something that in South Korea it's a mandatory military service.
Right. He wasn't eating barbecue and nachos and drinking diet soda. He was actually out there busting his ass.
Exactly. And it didn't take him long, 2 minutes and 49 seconds to knock out Dennis Bermudez. And I always cringe when I hear this, but when the losing fighter of a knockout fight says it was stopped a tad early, watch the replay.
No, he was nowhere near in any condition to continue no matter what he thinks. I don't think he really even knew where he was. I think he might have even been trained to go for the ref there. What do you think?
If you ask him where he was, he might have just said Texas. Okay, what city? Texas. You know, like, whenever they take down the referee, it's a sign where the fighter doesn't know where he is. And if you just blindly go for a takedown on the referee, and it's like, dude, I'm the ref. Like, oh, am I that effed up right now? Like, what happened here?
Yeah, the accuracy and the power that Korean Zombie has as a featherweight, if you didn't already know, if you're new to this right now and you're not familiar with him from the time before his military service, now you know. You know just how deadly and accurate he is.
So what do you do now with both fighters? I mean, Korean Zombie, obviously, he has to be considered in the rankings, and Bermudez, he's going to drop, but you're not sure by how much at this point. It depends on the rest of the division, I suppose.